All right, and here's the tibia. And just like with the femur, I'll just quickly go over the anatomy of it and then I'll talk more functional about it. Okay, so I think the tibia just alone, disarticulated like this, is still not hard to identify. You can see this more proximal portion of it. You can kind of see that there's these ditchy surfaces here that look like they're a part of the knee. The whole tibia itself seems to have like a triangular cross-section to it, which I think maybe you can get a sense of here in the video, but definitely when you come into lab and see these things. So let's take a look at these parts. There's what's called the anterior border, which is just kind of this kind of pointed anterior portion of the tibia. This is the posterior side of it. And so again, in lab, you'll be able to kind of figure that out and kind of feel your way and know what's anterior and posterior. Taking a look here, you can see this raised portion, and this is called the Tibial Tuberosity. And then near there, here on the very top, you can see these condyles. And so just on the femur that had condyles, you also see these kind of smooth, rounded surfaces. And one is going to be medial and one is going to be lateral. So how can you figure that out? Well, I think the easiest clue is taking a look more distally, and I'll tell you about this structure here. This is the structure that kind of rescues you. It's the medial malleolus. Do you see how there's a portion that's more distal and kind of pokes out? You almost want to call it styloid process, don't you? But it's not. It's a malleolus. So medial malleolus. So if that's medial, then this is going to be the medial condyle, and that's the lateral condyle. Okay? All right, and then to think of some functional aspects of these features that we know about the tibia. For that medial and malleolus, I'll show you once I tell you about the lateral malleolus and the fibula. I'll show you what that does. And we have the medial and the lateral condyles, and those meet up with the medial and lateral condyles of the femur to make the knee joint. We also have this tibial tuberosity, and the patellar ligament attaches there, and you can kind of think of as the quadriceps muscles all kind of coming together on a tendon that meets with the patella and then ultimately kind of comes here. And then the anterior border, that's something that you can feel. You can feel your own front of your leg and feel the anterior border, and it helps define compartments within the leg. There's with deep fascia is usually that, but the bone can be a contribution to that. And we'll talk about compartments that they're present in all different parts of your limbs. All right, now we've got our fibula. So the fibula is a parallel bone, just like radius and ulna are parallel bones. This is parallel to the tibia. Make sure that you spell these correctly. Sometimes people get fibula and tibia mixed up. You don't want to write fibia, for instance. So you want to make sure that these get kind of spelled right. Now, I don't think the fibula is really hard to distinguish. I guess it could get confused with the radius, maybe. The radius has that distinctive head, though, and then this is a bit longer. Now, one thing that I think you'll need to work on coming into lab is being able to distinguish the head of the fibula from the end that has the lateral malleolus. This is lateral malleolus, and this is the head. You'll need to take a look at these surfaces. This isn't focusing quite as nicely as I'd want, but this is taking. Let me see if I can just zoom in and see if that helps it focus. But with the head, it kind of seems like one single curvy surface, whereas when you take a look at the more distal end, where the lateral malleolus is, there's kind of multiple ditches. I think that's something that's helpful. But again, you want to take a look at a variety of these and to be able to confirm it. All right, now that we know about the fibula and the tibia, I wanted to show you what happened with the medial malleolus of the tibia. This is the lateral malleolus of the fibula. It's not a perfect match. I'm realizing this fibula is longer than it should be for the size of this tibia. But anyway, you can see that the two malleoli, medial and lateral, kind of wrap around the talus. That's one of the tarsal bones. If you break an ankle, it's usually what you're breaking is one of the malleolus, the medial or the lateral.